Welcome into the start of the preseason for your Washington Commanders. It is finally game day, and this is a live look at Cleveland Brown Stadium, home to the first preseason game for the 2023 Washington Commanders. You're watching the only Commanders pregame show, and we are taking you up to kickoff here on Command Center Game Day Live. So let's get it started. How you doing, everyone? Michael Jenkins here with the Cowboy Killer, Santana Moss. Good to see you as always, Taylor.
What's up, Jenks? How you doing, baby?
I'm doing great, man, and I'm glad to finally have some football here. I know you are too. OTAs are fine. Training camp's fine. I know you don't miss training camp.
At all. At all.
At all. But how excited are you that we get some football before the regular season? Preseason's always great.
Jinx, I'm not even playing, and I'm super pumped for these guys. I think one of the things about football, it just gets everybody in a good mood. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've been having fun since training camp started. One, because I'm not playing. But two, just to be out here and seeing these guys get after it, man, it's nothing like seeing those pass, hearing those pass, and seeing those guys fly around on the field.
When you think back to your rookie season, the first time you played in a preseason game, what was that like for you?
Well, I told you my story. I didn't get a chance to play as a rookie. I got hurt before I even played in the game.
Right.
But I remember that second year, it was my rookie year all over again, and I had butterflies. I was extremely nervous, man, but I went out there and got the job done. I caught a deep pass. I got acclimated into the offense, and I showed the coaching staff why they picked me first round, you know?
Well, you certainly delivered, even though it was your rookie season in that second year. What are some of the things you're looking for tonight in this game?
You know, one of the things I want to see, I want to see the ones look like ones.
Right.
You know, for however long you want to be on the field, I want to see our guys fly around, be productive, especially offensively, move the ball. I want to see Sam do well. I want to see our offensive line play well. But when they come off, I want to see those young guys get after it. Go out there and make this ball club. I want to see all our draft picks, especially those rookies, go out there and strut their stuff. Show this team why you're here.
When you talk to the fans, and you've been out here at camp, and the fans have been out in full force, it's been a great vibe out here. Everyone's excited about the new era. What do you think the fans want to see?
I mean, they're ecstatic. You know, I mean, it's
crazy.
It's a different type of energy that's going on out here in Ashburn. If you haven't been out here, please come and see. For however many days they have left for you fans to be a part of it, please come and be a part of it. But they're ecstatic, man, and I'm ecstatic for them. Like I said before, I played 10 years here.
Yep.
And for whatever reason, we didn't win. Who knows? I don't know. I gave it up. I gave it my all.
Damn
you know,
right,
we can't do it by ourselves, but, you know, as a collective team, we didn't win games. We didn't go to playoffs. We didn't see championships. And those fans showed up each and every week, each and every year. And they took a little break the last few years.
Yeah,
They've been
they
on a
did.
little hiatus. And we know why, but at the end of the day, they're back. And so give them something, give them a real reason to be back. So I'm ecstatic for these guys to have the fans back, and I'm looking forward for this season to be great just for those fans.
One thing the fans I know are excited about, you knew I was going to ask you at some point, the QB1, Sam Howell.
Yeah.
What are your expectations? What do you expect to see from him?
You know, I want Sam to just let the game come to him.
Yeah.
You know, one of the things, we get caught up in this game and try to do too much. I don't think he's that type of guy. I can just look at how he handled himself through practice. I'm sure he's going to go out there, especially with a coach like EB behind him, telling him, calling those plays, tell him, hey, calm down, go out there and do what you do. And I just want to see him do what he do, get his feet wet, be productive in however long he plays, and if we can score, score.
Yeah.
But I think, you know, if you look at it, you know, one of the things that I remember Kyle Shanahan, it's like it still plays in my head. He always wanted to see, especially in the preseason games, see the offense move the chains. As long as we can move the chains, then we can get in scoring range. Now we can either, you know, punch it in through the air or through the ground or get a field goal out of it. So I just want to see him be productive however long he's going to be out there.
Well, that young quarterback has looked good at numerous times in training camp here in Ashburn. If you've been out here, you've seen that, getting reps as the starter for the first time since being drafted in the 5th round of the 2022 draft. Now, he has plenty of weapons. We'll see how many will be available tonight in his first preseason game of 2023. Had one start last season. We all remember what a huge performance that was in a win against the Cowboys in the final game of the regular season. Let's look at the numbers that Howell put up in that victory. Again, only one game, but you can see why there's so much excitement surrounding him. 11 of 16, 169 yards, a touchdown, an interception, ready to take the next step this season. Here's new assistant head coach and offensive coordinator Eric Bieniemy on how Sam has looked at camp.
You know what, Sam is doing a good job. Sam's actually doing a hell of a job. I think sometimes early in camp you can see where he was overthinking. But we've been putting a lot on our players, been putting a lot on this plate, because I want him to understand there's a thing that you got to do. You got to process everything. And the thing that I love, I've seen the growth. You can see when he's confident, he's coming off the mound, releasing that ball. It's a thing of beauty. it's been fun watching this growth process, and I think the sky can be the limit for this kid.
We are getting ready for our first look at the Washington offense led by EB, warming up in Cleveland with kickoff set at 7:30 over on NBC4. So I've asked you about Sam Howell, but how do you temper those expectations? Because he has a ton of arm talent. We know the potential is there, but at the same time, it's one game in the regular season.
It's one game in the regular season, and it was a meaningful game in the regular season, especially for a guy who didn't play the whole year. He basically played in the preseason last year, raised all our eyebrows, and sat on the bench, and then was called at the last game of the year. Think about it. You know, this is why these fans are up for this guy. You plugged this guy in the last game of the season. He could have easily checked out. He could say, hey, that was a great rookie year for me. I'm probably pissed because I didn't get a chance to play, but he stayed locked in. And so that tells us that we have something with this guy. So I'm looking forward to him to have that mindset that, hey, it's never all said and done until I'm out there, until I have a chance to say so.
What would you consider a successful debut? That's a tough one.
That's a good question. Not sure how the ones are going to play. I think if he just go out there and drive the ball, like I say, move the chains. You know, move the chains tonight. You know, get some first downs, especially on your first series. You know, don't go 3 and out. Get a first down. That gives you a chance to get some confidence going. Then you go out there and you probably go further. You know, you probably get another, first down. But if you can move the chains, get some first downs, I don't care if you don't even score. If you put us in a range to kick a field goal, to me, that's successful.
Now, you just want to see that progress. And let's hear from the man himself. He stopped by during our camp coverage to talk about his first camp as a QB1.
How would you kind of rate your performance through training camp so far?
Yeah, no, I think it's been all right. I think there's obviously definitely some plays I'd like to have back. That's what's practice for, to go in there and learn from my mistakes. But I feel like I'm doing a good job. I feel like I'm showing command and showing that I know what my job is. And I'm doing a better job now in camp of knowing other people's jobs and can get guys lined up and stuff like that. But I feel good about where we are on offense. Obviously, we're going against a really good defense, so it's not going to look clean. It's not going to look clean all the time. But as long as we go inside and fix our mistakes, then we'll continue to get better.
Sam, tell me how this process been for you, man. I mean, just a couple of, I guess you could say, the whole off season. But let's go back to last year. We saw you show some, flashes in the preseason, and the entire regular season, you were just sitting watching. You was practicing. You put in the reps out here, and then you get thrown to that last game, and it looked like no drop off from the preseason games, but a little step, moving in the right direction. What has that process been like to know that now, after all that, you're the guy coming into this season?
Yeah. No, obviously it was a process I really wasn't expecting to go through last year, especially when I was coming out of college and stuff. I didn't expect to not really play at all my first year in the league. But honestly, man, I just tried to make the most of it. I tried to do my best to learn every single week and try to take advantage of the reps that I got in practice. And just try to, keep a positive mindset and just know that, it's not about what's happening right now. It's about the long-term goals. And so I just try to get better each and every day. And I feel like I learned a lot last year, and I was able to get an opportunity the last game to go out there and show what I'm capable of doing. And then just try to carry that momentum into the offseason and come back here this spring and show that I can really be the guy to lead this franchise back to where we want to be.
Oh, that's exactly what you want to hear. Well, we're getting ready to see Sam Howell lead this Commanders offense against a very good Browns defense. Curtis Samuel wearing a different number this season. One of the targets. Yeah.
He almost fooled me, boy. Like, when did Heineke come back?
When you talk about Sam Howell, of course, you have to mention EB and his new offensive system that he's instituting here. So what do you expect to see from EB's offense?
That's a great question, too. I'm not sure how much of the real substance of the offense is going to be displayed. Probably none of it, but I just want to see those guys play efficient. One of the things that we pride ourselves on as players, whether you the ones, twos, or the threes, to move the ball, look like you know what you're doing, in and out of the huddle, play energetic with a tempo. I'm pretty sure he's telling those guys that's what he wants to see. So not sure what's going to be displayed when it comes to how deep they go. It's preseason. Probably going to be, EB offense one-on-one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just the basics. But I just want to see those guys look apart. Looking apart is more than anything.
So who else do you keep an eye on, or are you interested to see tonight?
You know what, man? I said the young guys. That's first and foremost. They got a lineman out there, Brooks. Oh my God, he been playing well. you know, in training camp. I want to see what he does tonight because he's going to get a chance to play a lot. I believe it's number 64 or something like that. He's showed flashes throughout training camp already. I'm talking about dominating guys. So he's going to get a heavy load. When those ones come out, it's going to be on those other guys. And so I'm going to be keying in to see how he plays with the lights on.
Well, let's check out some of the offensive leaders from last season and why there are big expectations if Sam Howell can take that next step. Terry McLaurin, of course, leading the team in receiving yards, 1,191 yards last season. But it was the rookie Jahan Dotson leading the team in touchdowns with 7. And on the ground, what a story Brian Robinson Jr. was, still leading the team in rushing yards with 797.
That's phenomenal.
It's time for the best seat in the house, presented by SeatGeek, the official primary ticketing partner of the Washington Commanders.
I'm super excited to be seeing Sam Howell tonight. He's the guy, he's the story of the night, he's the man of the hour. What does he look like with that one receiving group? Is he on rhythm? Is he on time? In conjunction with that, what does the offensive line look like? Those guys have been looking better every single day of practice. How they look against another team. And then for depth, I'm looking at the young wide receivers. Tinsley, Bryson Tremaine, all those young guys. Can anyone kind of differentiate themselves and set themselves apart? And I almost forgot about Chris Rodriguez. I want to see that guy run hard-nosed like he ran at Kentucky and finish plays. Lots of stuff to keep an eye on tonight. I can't wait.
As Tanner calls him, Lumberjack Logan. That's our guy. We've talked a lot about the offense, but the star of the show this season might just be that Commanders defense. We're going to dive into the D and hear from the captain, Jonathan Allen, next. You are watching Command Center Game Day Live with nonstop live pictures from the field in Cleveland. We're going to even keep them up for you during this commercial break, so stay right there.
Dad, we're going to be late.
Can't stop adding stuff to your cart? Get the Bank of America customized cash rewards card. Choose the online shopping category and earn 3% cash back.
In-play betting, because a lot can happen in 4 quarters. You can wager on the spread, game props, player props, totals, and the money line. Bet365 is the world's favorite sports book for many reasons. In-play betting is just one of them.
Are you on your way?
Yep, coming.
And Mom and Dad?
Don't worry, they'll be there.
Happy anniversary!
Go beyond the expected with the #1 most dependable mass market brand 3 years in a row by J.D. Power. Kia, movement that inspires.
One bag.
The winter play was really coming together. Until disaster struck. Tensions were high. Luckily, replacement costumes were shipped with FedEx, which means Mr. Harvey could picture the perfect night. We're ready for the holidays, so you're ready for what's next.
Have fun, sis.
Can't stop adding stuff to your cart? Get the Bank of America customized cash rewards card. Choose the online shopping category and earn 3% cash back.
Go, go, hey, stand strong with my troops. Nothing far from the truth.
Nowhere. John Allen blows up the play. Football's not what I do. It's who I am. I'll lead this.
On the rise, on the rise. Fight for what we love. Whoa, stand strong with my troops. Nothing far from the truth.
I'm not playing no game. I'm not shooting no more.
When we step, we shit the room. Try to burn this shit with you. Hey.
Welcome back to Command Center Game Day Live, and this is a live picture of Cleveland Browns Stadium where Jonathan Allen and the Commanders are gearing up for their first preseason game of the year. You see Sam Howell warming up as well. Now, the captain of the defense joined the guys on our camp coverage to talk about how things are going thus far on the D-line.
Yeah, this is you guys' 4th year under Coach Del Rio and his defense. You guys were top 5 defense a year ago. You got a healthier Chase Young coming back. Sweat, both those guys in their contract year, went out and drafted Emmanuel Forbes in the first round, got Quan Martin in the second round. How good can this defense be?
The defense could be number one in the league, but at the end of the day, none of that matters until we go out there and do it during the game. So every day we're just trying to chase perfection. We know we'll never get there, but that's the goal every single day. And we're just trying to stack days right now. We understand there's going to be some days where some guys are dragging and some guys are not. We're all trying to feed off each other and just make sure we collectively as a unit, we can't have a setback. You know, because what we're trying to build, we can't afford to. We can't waste a day. So training camp shorter than ever, and you got to take advantage of every day we're out here.
Yeah. You know, I know it's kind of early right now. Do you get a chance to look, watch you guys all together, having Chase back, having Mathis back, just knowing how many pieces you have added to that D-line? You guys was pretty good last year with the guys, Tuhill and all those guys playing. Do you imagine, like, man, what could this be? I know it's early and you probably see yourselves on film, but do you sit back and think, man, what could we be come week one with all these guys healthy?
I think we can be very special, but again, we got to go out there and prove it. So the hardest thing is not getting too far ahead of yourselves. You know what I mean? You got to take it day by day, and there's a lot of football to be played before week one at FedEx Field. So as a unit, we're trying to take advantage of every day, like I said, and really capitalize on every situation we're out there playing together.
Allen and that D-line prime for another big season, and we are taking up the kickoff at 7:30 over on NBC4 with live pictures of warm-ups. The quarterbacks going through their drills as we speak. Michael Jenkins back with Santana Moss here. And Santana, when you talk about this defense, how good can this defense and specifically this defensive line be?
I mean, you heard Jay Allen say it. They can be special. I mean, this defense can be, like I said before, they can be the top 2 this year. I mean, it was top 5. And when you think about top 5 defenses, the first thing comes to mind is a defense that can take the ball away. And they had turnovers last year, but they probably was not where they wanted to be when it comes to the turnover game. That's why they went out there and got some young talent in that secondary. So, I hate getting too far ahead of myself when it comes to talking about these guys. You heard him say it himself. They have to go out there and play the game. But when you think about the pieces they added, you do think about the young edge rushers that they brought on, from the draft. Think about the young pieces they have in the secondary. The sky's the limit. These guys can really be phenomenal together.
How do you game plan for a John Allen, a Durham? And those are just 2 of the guys. You know what I mean?
I guess, look, this is how they do it, right? When you're in the room, they say, how I choose my fate today. Look, sledgehammer or axe saw. How do I want to go out? You know what I mean? And when you have those 2 guys, they're not the only ones on that D-line. You got a game plan for 2. No, it's more than 2 you have the game plan for. So I don't want to be that opposing team having to worry about checking those 2 guys in the interior, knowing I have 2 beasts on the outside as well.
We didn't even mention Chase Young. He's dancing around out there in a contract year. He's expected to step up this year. Oh, he does look ready. What are your thoughts on the secondary, particularly Emmanuel Forbes? He's a guy who has shown out almost immediately.
Well, when you talk about a secondary, first I'm going to always talk about the guy. And I think Cam Curl is one of those guys. He's their leader. He's that Ed Reed, Sean Taylor back there. He's one of those. He's that kind of special talent. And just seeing how he's flying around is great. But then when you bring in the young stud from Mississippi, let Fred say it, Bulldogs. You know how he do it. I don't want to get into his antics. But no, man, I mean, when I watch young guys, I pay close attention to them to see, is it too big for him? Even practice. So sometimes you see a guy come in with all the hype, and you watch him in practice, and it seems like he's kind of still trying to get acclimated. Man, this guy has been thrown right into the fire, and he just looks smooth. He's out there just making plays, covering guys, whether you're Jahan, whether you Terry. I saw one time Terry get chippy with him, like, don't hold me, young fella. And I was like, I feel you, Terry, but at the same time, I like that. I wanted to see him do that, because that showed you and it showed Terry that, man, I don't care who you are, I'm going to check you. So it's great to see it, man. I'm looking forward to see him get his feet wet.
Here's a look at the numbers from last season when you check out this Commanders defense and how they perform now across the board. Pretty impressive. 7th in points per game, 4th in passing yards per game, 11th in rushing yards per game, and 3rd overall in yards allowed. London Fletcher's in Cleveland, and he's always ready to talk about defense.
On the defensive side of the ball tonight, I'm looking forward to seeing how Chase Young plays. I want to see if he's getting off, if he's playing with reckless abandon, not coming up, playing with a little bit of hesitancy, as he did when he was coming back from being injured last year. He's looked great in training camp so far, really looked like the old Chase Young. I want to see how he performs. Want to watch the back end, the secondary. You got a lot of young corners, seeing Emmanuel Forbes, the first-round draft pick, see how he looks, and then also seeing Benjamin St. Juste at the nickelback, see what he looks like in the secondary. And last but not least, our third down defense. Even though we finished #1 in the league during the regular season, third down defense was a little bit of concern for us during the preseason. I'm sure Jack would love to have the third down defense get off to a great start in this first preseason game against the Cleveland Browns.
Man, London was so hyped the other day. I thought it was going to hit me. I swear to God. It has been such an exciting month for Washington fans as a new era begins with Josh Harris and his partners purchasing the team. We're going to look ahead to the first game of this new era when we come back. This is Command Center Game Day Live, the only Commanders pregame show and the only one that gives you a continuous look at the team getting ready for action. We'll be right back. We'll keep the camera up for you the entire time. Stay there.
Dude, fire. Grill master, huh?
Burgers, better with Pepsi.
Summer won't last forever, but during Toyota's national sales event, you can make memories that will.
Come on. There you go.
Whoa.
Where's my mom? Just be in the moment.
Buy a RAV4 with special financing as low as 3.99%. Or pick a spacious Highlander with as low as 3.49% on select models. Toyota, let's go places.
We'll bring some energy.
Out he goes, the run. Play by the rookie. He is one of the angriest runners in all of football. Ron Allen for a sack. John Dodson 101 made a catch in front of Jason Pinnock. Spin to the 10. He's going in.
To the Commanders fans, our promise to you is straightforward. We will work tirelessly to make you proud once again of this franchise, like my family was when I grew up here. This is not going to be easy. My job is to deliver an organization that can win. It's on me and it's on us up here. Our work begins today, and I'm so excited to be on this journey together with the city. Thank you all.
Oh, this Washington fan base fired up about the new era here in D.C. You can feel it. Josh Harris takes the helm of the team he grew up cheering for, which makes it even more exciting, and the changes have been palpable. We've seen fans out in droves here at Camp 10. I mean, everywhere you go. Tickets to the home opener going fast, and that change is the subject of the latest Commanders log. Take a look.
The exciting film you're about to see was made possible by the company that has brought you the Redskin games on television and radio since 1941.
Now, Jim, let's watch the Redskins.
September Moss, 2005 to 2014.
Doc Walker, 1980 to eternity.
Everyone finally got their act together, and the fun bunch was born.
Darryl Green, 20 years.
2-2 old buddy. Make you run fast.
Mark Mosley, 74 to 86.
MVP.
It's good. Mark Mosley has broken the National Football League record.
We are so excited, and I'm so excited personally, obviously, having grown up here, right here in Chevy Chase, and been around when at least some of you were here. But I was here during, and Joe, there's Joe Gibbs over there. Joe, thank you for being here.
Now, I want you to know that each one of you has a small piece of this trophy today.
I just want you guys to know this is the way I feel. You and I were part of really building something.
It was a salute to a team second to none, and the sounds of success rang from the Chesapeake Bay to the Shenandoah.
I felt that I had this calling to get involved and to, try to help this franchise be what it used to be.
Experiencing what you've heard everyone talk about, how much this meant to us as little boys. We said, if we can do this, it'll be the single most important thing we do in our lives.
Even though we're all busy, and boy, it's going to be expensive, and I unfortunately... the worst part of my day today was releasing The Wire. I've never seen. I might need to borrow some money from some of you guys.
Now it's all about, like Josh said, how do we pay it forward, and how do we rebuild a community that's really special.
Obviously, this is where we could massively use your help because you all are who you are. You are the Washington Commanders.
Doug Williams will be back in. You better bet on that because Doug Williams is a competitor. Redskins didn't simply enter the history book Sunday night. They rewrote a lot of great things we can be doing, and the best one is kicking their ass.
So our job and what we think we need to do is to reconnect with the city, reconnect with the fans. Obviously, you're going to be a big part of that, which is why, I'm so appreciative of you being here, and reconnect and make this franchise something that we all and the city can be proud of once again. And it can be like when I was growing up. Let's do this. Let's do it together. So thank you very much for listening. Thank you for everything.
Santana, what does it make you feel when you see that? Because you're a part of that.
Yeah, it was dope. It was a dope feeling, man. I mean, I didn't know what to expect from that day. And just to see all the legends that showed up, the guys who won the trophies, the guys who I played with, to be in that room with those guys, to embrace that new ownership, just to hear those guys speak, it almost showed you, it gave you like, man, these guys about business. You haven't even seen them go to work yet, but you could just hear it from their tones and how, committed they were from day one. Here, one thing is getting this team, but they've already thinking and processing what it's going to take for us to get out here in this community and get these fans to know that they're the big reason why we're going to be able to do whatever we do around here. So I was ecstatic. I had a great time meeting all those guys. Everybody wanted to see Magic, so we got a chance to talk with Magic. But I'm looking forward to seeing, what these guys have in store.
You just touched on it, but having been here for so long, being a part of this team, what has been the difference since this group led by Josh Harris that you've seen? Because I'll say just being out here, you see families out here again. You see kids throwing the football around. And to be honest, we hadn't seen that in previous years.
Yeah, I mean, that's the biggest thing. I think that's the biggest thing. And like I said, as a player, I didn't pay close attention to that because we still had the fans showing up. You heard disgruntled fans here and there, but you didn't know how disgruntled they were. And then when I left the game and I came back in this capacity, I started seeing the empty seats when I'm up there doing my shows with, when we was with NBC and stuff. So I'm sitting there like, wow, it got to this point, So just seeing them now starting to come back because of the new ownership, it tells you the story right there. I mean, I don't have to say much about it. I know me personally, like I said before all the time, I didn't see that stuff going on because I was playing. I was in tune with what I had to do on the field, and that's all we could, handle. You got to handle what you can handle or what you can control.
Well, if you see the live video, you can see it's a little wet, a little drizzly out there. So let's take a look at your game day forecast presented by NBC4.
Let's take a look at your game day forecast presented by NBC4. We're working for you.
What we are expecting tonight is temperatures in the 70s, probably wind 10 to 15 miles per hour. Probably about a 60% chance of rain.
Cleveland, man.
Typical Cleveland, so it's going to be fine. Maybe a couple of, maybe a quick thunder shower here and there. It's going to be nothing. It's football.
I just hope they don't delay the game, man. Just get this thing going and get these guys in and out of there and back home, with a W.
Well, when we come back, I'm going to get Santana's keys to victory tonight in Cleveland. It is a preseason game, and of course, you still want to win. That is next on Command Center Game Day Live, the only Commanders pregame show and your field pass to the action. We're not going to let you miss a moment, even during this commercial break. Stay with us.
The design is stunning. The power, breathtaking. Turbocharged to chase down dreams. With an instant top prize of $50,000. and a second chance top prize of $150,000. More than enough to buy a real Corvette. The new 2023 Corvette Cash Scratch-Off from the Maryland Lottery. Take it for a ride.
Hey, it's me, food. I'm so much more than just what we eat. I'm hand-cut, fresh and frosted. I love it. Aw, I love you too. See, life is always something new. All messy, frantic, and amazing. And from where I sit, you look delicious. That's why every day is worth celebrating. If you can. Stay fresh. Sincerely, food. Sincerely, Safeway.
Hey, big man.
Go ahead.
Dave told me you got some kind of great system for betting that really works.
That's true.
What is it? Is it like home dogs? No. It's bird mascots.
No, I just use FanDuel's responsible gaming tools like time and spending limits to manage my play.
That's the system.
Hasn't failed me yet.
Cool. You know what, man? I'm just gonna keep this between you and me.
It's not a secret, Bob.
Every bettor has a system. Make FanDuel's responsible gaming tools a key part of yours. It's more fun that way.
You're going to like this story because it's about you. You who forgot to charge your phone last night. You who sprints to the boarding line so your bag will fit. You with him. Until one day you boarded a United plane that was designed for, well, you. And your phone got charged, your bag fit, so did everyone else's, but this story isn't about them. Your toddler didn't tantrum, and you got to fly happily ever after. The end.
We got a pass on today. Don't get in 3-1 wave.
There you go, good. Break. Third day of pad. Oh, let's go. I'm here, so let's go. Good strength.
It is almost time. Welcome home, Commanders fans. The 2023 season kicks off at FedEx Field. Help get the stadium rocking for the team's opener against the Arizona Cardinals on Sunday, September 10th at 1 o'clock. Get your tickets now at commanders.com/tickets. We are getting ready right now for the first game of the preseason in Cleveland, which is a little bit wet, not a big deal. Commanders-Browns right here as we get you set for Sam Howell's debut as the QB1. Now, here's a look at the way things shook out for each of these teams last year. Both teams finishing at the bottom of their divisions, but how good did it feel? Final game of the regular season with Sam as a QB1 to get that win over the Cowboys at FedEx. So now he gets a chance to build upon that tonight, even though, again, it's preseason, but any sort of work he can get Santana is a big thing. What are the keys to getting a win in a preseason game? I would imagine more than anything, you just want to see the work that you put in training camp start to progress and you want to see this team get better.
No doubt. And unfortunately, they have to start their preseason, season opener in a rainy Cleveland Browns stadium. But look, one of the things that we've always prided ourselves on, when we went out there with the ones, we tried to score. We tried to be efficient with the ball, move the chains. If they can do that, that's sort of like a win for those guys. But now we riding on the backs of the young guys. Go win this game for us. I need to see somebody make a play. One of those receivers, Tinsley, Allen, one of those guys to step up, Flash, Rodriguez as a running back. Somebody to step up offensively and make some plays. Cole Turner, whoever it is in the game as tight end, whoever it is in the game, make the play to put us over the hill so we can go home, watch good film, and get ready for the next one.
I understand why you're always excited and focused on the quarterback, but one thing we haven't touched on too much is the O-line. Because those guys have to work in unison, and they have to work with Sam to make sure he's protected and that they are they are on the same page.
No doubt. And like I said before, we have a lot of new guys. We have a lot of new guys. I think one of the guys I'm going to be paying close attention to is Chris Paul tonight, you know, because he's easily can be a starter on this team. But, you know, one of the guys that he's behind, Sadiq Charles, I believe he's injured again or he's a little nicked. And one of the things about being nicked like that, when you have a guy as good as Chris Paul, come on. Come on, baby. I don't want to see you in that tub too long because that guy's harping up your back. But it's great to have depth there. So our offensive line is a lot of new pieces. But I'm looking forward to seeing these guys work together for the first time in a live situation.
How difficult is it? Because these guys are trying to work together, but at the same time, they've got a new offensive install. How difficult is it to take all that in and learn an entirely new offense?
It's difficult, but I think, like I said before, you get it in increments. You know what I mean? It's not just thrown at you. I mean, we get the big book, but we basically doing installs as we go. And you don't get too far ahead of yourself. Like, you know how, like, when they give a schedule and everybody say, well, in Thanksgiving night you play this team. I don't go that far. I look. You know what I mean? I got to go week by week by week by week. It's the same thing with the playbook. I'm not getting ahead of myself. Whatever we have in this week, I'm going to study it, I'm going to learn it, I'm going to know it. So then once I move on from there, then I move to the next sheet.
You can see the rain coming down in Cleveland with our live picture from Brown Stadium. How difficult is it to play?
I hate it. You done messed my night up already. I don't want to see that. No, I hate it. I'm a receiver. I want to catch dry balls, pause. I don't like the way I said that. But I'm just saying, I'm just being real. I like to have a dry surface so I can go out there and do what I do. I do what I do well when it's dry out. And when it's like this, we're going to run the ball. And but to tell you the truth, it's the preseason, so we're going to still see if these guys can be battle tested and play in this kind of weather. So the ball's going to still be flying around in the air because you're going to get tested tonight. Coaches going to see who we have that's going to step up in these situations right now when it's raining out there. No one wants to be out there, and it's not a meaningful game in the preseason.
I know you always gave your all, but do you remember one game that you played in during your career where it was wet and nasty and you thought, man, this is the worst?
Yeah, I'll never forget it either. It was the last game of 2000, I believe, 13 season, and we played the Giants. And when I say I checked out, I didn't leave out the game, but I was just there. I mean, I was catching balls with my helmet, with the one hand. Hey, it come the ball hit my hand, and I was like, I'm sorry, I can't even catch. I couldn't catch. You know, it wasn't one of those days, and it was cold too. It was freezing. So I was in a huddle, and they was telling me to get out. Oh, gee, man, you done played long enough, and I'm just like, man, there's still time on the clock. I got to finish the game. That's just how I'm wired, But I didn't want the ball. I'm like, please don't throw over here because there's nothing I can do in this situation right now.
So when you were drafted, you were Santana Moss, so you knew you were going to get a shot.
Yeah.
But some of these guys, they don't have that guarantee. They're just trying to make the squad. So how crucial is it? Every single play matters for these guys.
Every single play matters. This is a regular season game for some of these guys. Some of the guys are out here fighting for a spot. It's only 3 games, so you don't have a huge window to really put that good work on. So the eye in the sky don't lie. Like, as players, we always say, the eye in the sky don't lie. Whenever you in the game, make sure you're doing something what they can give you a positive comment about yourself. Don't go out there lacking, slacking, and not doing what you're supposed to do because, trust me, you're going to get called out, especially if you're trying to make the squad. And quite frankly, when it comes to games like this also, special teams is going to be key. We're going to see who was on the special teams that can get that 3rd, 4th, 5th spot in one of those positions, those key position rooms. So it's great to see these games. It's not so good to play in them because you want to hurry up and get your stuff in and get out, but it's great to sit back on the sideline, have your sunflower seeds, and watch the young guys do what they do,
I know you love your sunflower seeds.
Only around football time. I don't eat them on a regular, but it was for some reason when I was out of a game in a preseason game, I'm looking for the guy with the biggest bag. Come here, I got a cup. Give me something. Because it just gives you something to do while you're sitting out there watching the other guys play. I mean, the game seems like it takes forever when you're not on the field.
Who was the one guy you could always rely on to have that bag?
You know what, man? It was the quarterbacks. It was the quarterback room. It didn't matter who was the quarterback. It was always their room. They had sunflower seeds by the dozen. So I know, and I wasn't buying them. So I was just going to go out there and steal me a couple in the cup and enjoy the rest of the night.
So let's flip to the defense because we focus on offense and the quarterback always gets the spotlight. You know how that goes. But Emmanuel Forbes, I want to go back to him for a second because he was he was a thief in college, and we've already seen that. I don't want to jump ahead, but he's shown those skills already in camp.
Yeah, it'll be great to see him touch the ball a couple of times tonight. Deflection, if you get a pick, go ahead and get one. Do what you do. But when you have a guy that has a knack for the ball like that, that's not by luck. You know, he's doing something in the classroom that away from the game that people don't know that's giving him those opportunities. You know what I mean? Like we had guys like D. Hall. You had guys like Deion Sanders. You had guys like Ed Reed. You know, those guys are not rounding the ball because they're lucky. They're studying. They're reading the quarterback eyes. They're seeing formations before it gets to the part where now they have to really make a decision. They see all that stuff early in the classroom and watching film, and so when they're out there playing, it's second nature to them.
We're getting closer and closer to game time in a rainy Cleveland Browns stadium. What are the keys? I know it sounds strange to say keys to victory in the preseason, but what is something you want to see tonight?
You want to see everybody get off the field healthy. Okay. That's first and foremost. And then, like I said before, you just want to see production. You want to see something that we can build on, going up, not down. Not having to say, oh, we didn't play well, let's go back to the drawing board with this play or that play or this series. You want to be able to get in that meeting room come tomorrow whenever they watch film and say, Coach say, you know what? We can move on. We don't have to do too much going back on stuff, but it's going to happen, because you got a lot of young guys that's going to be playing. It's going to be for the first time. They're excited. Their mama right now probably texting them on their cell phones in the locker room. They're probably finna get in there right now, look at their cell phones, and it's about to start. I'm about to get my debut. So it's a lot of happy young guys, but for the vets, man, you want to see all those guys be able to get in and get out, have a productive night, and just sit back. Like I said before, we're going to root for these young guys to go out there and win the game for us.
We are hoping for a productive night. We're going to be here the entire time. So once the game is over, come on back for Command Center post-game live. Tan is going to be here. I'm going to be here. You can check everything out on the Commanders YouTube channel, the Facebook channel, on X, and that's right after the game on NBC4. So I'm pretty jacked to get a little football, man.
Yeah, I'm beyond jacked. I told you, like I said, I felt like I was getting ready to play today, but I'm glad I'm not. You know what I mean? But I'm going to sit back and enjoy and watch it, and I hope they give us a great show, man.
We're going to see you right after the game on NBC4. Santana Moss, I'm Michael Jenkins, HTTC. Enjoy the game between the Commanders and the Browns.